It walks like a duck, but they say it's not. Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin, your constitutionalist for liberty.
Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right.
Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin. The constitutionalist for liberty. Facts over feelings, clarity first. Cut through the noise, expose the worst. If it walks like a duck, we say it's straight. Truth doesn't change for politics' sake. Go right, right. Stand and see common sense and liberty. We are breaking out tonight. Stay informed. It's time to go right. It is time to go right. With Peter Boykin. Go right. You've got come.
It walks like a duck, but they still say it's not. Welcome back to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. I'm your constitutionalist for liberty, and you are watching hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. You are looking at perspective, or more accurately, you are looking at how perspective gets weaponized. In the first image, you see certainty dressed up as loyalty. In the second, you see denial dressed up as sophistication. It's the same animal, it's the same facts, and it's the same reality, but completely different conclusions. And you might ask the question, why? Because for many people today, truth is not discovered, it is selected. If admitting the obvious leads to the wrong political outcome, then suddenly the obvious becomes controversial. If acknowledging what walks like a duck and quacks like a duck benefits the other side, then it must be anything but a duck. It might be a horse, a turtle, a dog, an elephant, a donkey. Reality itself becomes negotiable. And this is not new. It is just louder now. We're living in a time where facts are filtered through identity before they are filtered through reason. Where people do not ask what it is, but instead ask who benefits if I admit what it is. Perspective matters, yes, but perspective without honesty becomes distortion. Perspective without logic becomes propaganda. And perspective without accountability becomes mass delusion. These images are funny, but they are also uncomfortable because they expose something deeper. The refusal to name what is plainly in front of us, simply because doing so would force us to admit we were wrong, and that someone we dislike might be right. Now, Go Right is not about worshiping a man, a party, or a tribe. It is about going in the direction of clarity, of responsibility, of reality. It is about calling things what they are, even when it is inconvenient. You do not have to like the duck, but pretending it is not a duck does not change the fact that it still quacks. This has been hashtag Go Right with myself, Peter Boykin. You can check us out on GoRightNews.com, PeterBoykin.com, and GoRightNC.com.
In every generation, there comes a moment when reality stands still and perspective begins to fight with truth. Same facts, different conclusions. Some call it strategy, some call it loyalty, but beneath the noise, truth remains unchanged. Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin. The constitutionalist for liberty. Across this constitutional republic, federal headlines collide with local consequences. Narratives grow louder while clarity grows quieter. Truth is no longer discovered. It is selected, filtered through identity before it reaches reason. But reality waits. Patient, unchanging. It walks like a duck. It quacks like truth. Some deny what's right in view. Perspective turned into a weapon. Facts rewritten by perception. Perspective matters. Honesty leads. Freedom survives when truth exceeds. Welcome to Go Right. Raise your voice tonight. Call it what it is. Stand for what is right. GoRightNews.com. Clarity in sight. Stay informed. Stay free. It's time to go right. Go right, where clarity calls beyond the headlines, beyond the walls. Independent voices breaking through the fight. Reality first, it's time to go right. From federal battles to hometown streets, every decision shapes what we keep. Local voices, national flame, liberty lives beyond the game. Not about worship, not about rage. Truth turns history's next page. Principles stronger than personality. The Constitution guiding reality. You don't have to like the duck, but pretending it isn't one does not change the sound of the quack. Doing right, thinking right, living right, fighting right. Go right, go right. Truth takes flight. Common sense burning bright tonight. Peter Boykin leading the light. Welcome everyone, it's time to go right. Go right, the signal is clear. Independent voices you can hear. GoRightNews.com, shining bright, staying politics. It's a direction. Go right with Peter Boykin. The constitutionalist for liberty.
Welcome back to Go Right with Peter Boykin. Some people look at the same reality and see completely different things, not because the facts changed, not because the evidence disappeared, but because perspective has become a weapon. We are living in a moment where politics no longer begins with truth and ends with debate. Instead, it begins with identity and ends with justification. If admitting the obvious helps the other side, suddenly the obvious becomes controversial. If reality threatens a narrative, reality itself is put on trial. And that brings us to where we stand right now across this constitutional republic. From federal power struggles all the way down to local county meetings most Americans never hear about. At the federal level, the election climate feels less like a contest of ideas and more like a battlefield of narratives. Every headline becomes a weapon. Every investigation becomes a talking point. Every policy debate is filtered through loyalty before logic. Candidates are framed as saviors or villains long before voters examine what they actually stand for. Truth isn't evaluated, it's assigned. Look at the national conversation around the election. One side claims democracy itself hangs in the balance. The other claims the system is already corrupted beyond recognition. Both sides shout certainty, while fewer people stop to ask the most important question. What are the actual facts beneath the noise? Meanwhile, the media ecosystem amplifies division by rewarding outrage over understanding. Social media accelerates it. Algorithms feed confirmation bias like oxygen to a fire. And suddenly we are no longer arguing about policy. We are arguing about reality itself. And yet, this same pattern repeats at the state level. Redistricting fights, education debates, public safety policies, infrastructure decisions, everything framed as existential. Everything turned into tribal warfare. Citizens are encouraged to pick teams before they pick principles. Then we go even further down into local government, where the real consequences live. County commissioners deciding land use, school boards debating curriculum, city councils wrestling with budgets, growth, and public safety. These are not abstract fights. These are decisions that shape roads, taxes, classrooms, and communities. But even here, the national narrative bleeds downward, turning neighbors into opponents before they ever sit at the same table. And here is where the duck comes in. Because often the facts are not complicated. Often the reality is standing right in front of us, but admitting it would require humility. Admitting it might mean someone we disagree with was right. And so instead of facing reality, people rename it, redefine it, reframe it until it fits their side. It walks like a duck. It quacks like a duck. But someone insists it's a turtle because that feels safer politically. That is the moment we're in. Not a crisis of information, but a crisis of honesty. And that is why Go Right exists. Not to worship a man, not to serve a party, not to repeat talking points, but to go in the direction of clarity, to call things what they are even when it is inconvenient, to defend the Constitution not as a slogan, but as a framework for thinking, questioning, and governing. Being a constitutionalist for liberty means asking whether power respects limits. It means looking at policies through principles, not personalities. It means recognizing that truth is not owned by the left or the right. Truth simply is. From federal elections to state debates to local decisions shaping your neighborhood, the challenge remains the same. Can we look at reality without filtering it through fear, loyalty, or ego? You don't have to like the duck, but pretending it isn't a duck will never change the fact that it still quacks. Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin. Stay informed,